Listen, if you want to see the full version of this interview without waiting until part 75, hit the join button right next to the subscribe button and become a VIP member for just $2.99 a month. While you're at it, turn the red subscribe button gray and hit the notification bell. All right, non-VIPs, enjoy the clip.
I mean, that's what happened in my neighborhood. You know, you had some dudes.
This call is from a federal prison.
Two younger brothers, they was twins, and that's what they was going around doing. You know, that's the nature of it from the West Coast, going, you know, to different hoods and territories and getting dudes to be down. And they did it around our neighborhood. Now, they didn't particularly come to our block and tell me, but they started influencing the other younger dudes from our block and tried to eventually move his way up, and we just defied that from the very beginning. We wasn't having it. We was a small group of people, but we wasn't getting bullied into anything, and we didn't go for it.
Yeah, I know you say were they doing it in like were they trying to bully people, or were they asking like what was the nature?
It was a bullying thing. You know, they was trying to, you know, get on you, and it was a bully thing. And you know, a bunch of the young dudes, some just took to it because it was a new thing around and it was a fad, and some of them took to it through intimidation and bully tactics and being scared. But we didn't go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you do say at one point in the book you speak about being charged with manslaughter in 2000 for I guess you had an encounter with one of the Crips and stabbed one of them. You had to serve 10 years. You know, talk about that day.
Well, the funny thing is that dude I went to school with, and you know, God bless his soul. You know, it's an unfortunate situation, but you know, I was down and like a block that used to just be a regular block where we used to hang out 3 blocks down from my block. My block ended up being 220. So I was down there chilling. I was already on the run for another allegation of a shooting. And then while I'm there, you know, the dude, he walks up and he looks, he sees me flagging. I'm blood at the time. And I guess he wanted to get on some gangbanging stuff. So, you know, I ended up getting cut in the face, and he ended up dying that day.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, that when that happens, you know, did you ever what was your first thought when you realized that he passed away?
I didn't learn until I had got in a cab. I had a female come pick me up. I got in a cab and I went to the hotel, and she's the one who stitched my face up because my face was bleeding. I was cut in the face. Wow. And when I called back to the neighborhood to ask what happened, that's when everybody told me the dude was dead. And then it hit me, and I gotta be honest, at that time, I was just happy that it wasn't me, you know? So in my teenage years, it was more so like, you know, we gang banging. I'm happy it's not me. I'm one up. But as I grew and I matured, that's when I started to really look at the ramifications of it and wish that it didn't happen. But, you know, you can't take it back. But I learned from it, and like I said, it's just all to my story of being a survivor. I'm not trying to glorify the action negative way. I'm happy I survived it. You know, it's an unfortunate situation, but I'm happy to survive it and go on to still be here to try to help others make better choices and not even put themselves in that predicament.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. You know, I always ask, you know, back then, I'm assuming that's in the 90s, right? That took place?
Yeah, that was in the late 90s when that happened.
Yeah, there probably wasn't a lot of cameras out. Like now there's cameras everywhere.
Hell no, it was no cameras.
Yeah, so how did you get caught? How did that happen? That's the first thing that.
Good question, right? This how I got caught, right? So when the dude was on the floor dying, because how he died is I stabbed him up. So he was on the floor laying there dying, and he started telling people he was getting cold. So one of the dudes took off his shirt and put the shirt on him. So when the police come, you know, they got their tricks. They grabbed the dude up that put the shirt on him and said, "Hey, we're gonna charge you as accessory to this body because you put a shirt on him and that killed the kid," which wasn't the case. So the dude went and told and said, "Oh, it was Brim that did it. These dudes was fighting. This dude is Crip. Brim is Blood. They was fighting, and this is the result of it." So that's how they, you know, associated me with it. Wow. And that's how they got on my case.
Wow. And was that guy Crip as well, or?
Nah, he was just a regular alcoholic, drunken dude that's always on the corner there drinking. Damn. A young dude that just had a bad alcoholic problem that was just always there on that block, just drunk.
Yeah, got you. Wow, you know, it's crazy because y'all go through so many things. You know, like to even think that at that age, you know, I wasn't going through shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what's the feeling when you know? I know you probably saying, yeah, I'm one up, but now it's like, yo, are they coming to get me? Like, is there anxiety? Like, what are you thinking?
Honestly, bro, like that, I was hardened at the time. Remember, I've been out the house from 10 years old playing in the street. You know, I was hardened at that time. I didn't have no anxiety. I didn't have no fear. I was on the run for allegations.
This call is from a federal prison.
Run for allegations of other murders at that time, attempt murders, a bunch of violent acts, and I just left. I went down south to Florida and was just down there, you know, just
Yeah,
having my way, and I didn't get caught till I came back. And I didn't care at the time. I got to be honest. It's
yeah,
sad, but I didn't even care at the time. I just wanted to stay out. I was just running, and when they caught me, I went to Rikers, and it was on from there.
yeah, yeah. How did they catch? Like, did you get stopped on some regular something
Alright,
small?
this how I got caught, right? So I was actually hiding out on the block that the precinct was, right in their face. Our
Yeah,
precinct, 47 precinct uptown, is on 229th Street and Laconia. So I was a few blocks up on 229th between Bronxwood and between Barnes and White Plains Road.
yeah,
So what happened is the girl that I was with at the time, 4th of July was coming up. So like the eve of 4th of July, she picks me up. She takes me to a telly downtown and shit. So we spend the whole night doing us. And usually, like when it's time to go home, I'll make the person drive around the block a few times to make sure no enemies is out there looking or no police. This day I'm so tired because we was up all night doing us, so I ain't even have time to do that. So
yeah,
she pulls right up on the block. I jump out to go in the trunk because you know I had a firearm.
yeah.
And next thing you know, they just blitz me. I'm like, oh shit, and that's how they caught me.
And I'm sure at that time you like, damn, you know, like I knew this shit was
Bruh, I'm
coming.
gonna be honest with you, Pete. At that time, not today. At that time, I didn't even care. It was like, alright, they tried to charge her with the gun. I had a Mac 12 with 5 extra clips, 1 clip in the gun, and 4 extra clips in the rubber band, fully stocked and loaded. And how they did it, they said, yo, listen, we're gonna charge her with the firearm. I said, no, you not. That's my gun. So I took responsibility of the gun. I let her go, and then that's when they started charging me with the manslaughter and the attempt murder and the gun, and I just ate it all. I took it all.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So now when you go, you get locked up, you start serving your time. Did you even think you was gonna only get 10 years? Cause I feel
Nah,
yeah,
I thought I was gonna get more than that. I had it in my mind that back then you know easily get 25, but I thought I would get like 30 something because it was a list of charges every other week. They're bringing charges and allegations of this shooting and this shooting and this shooting. So as they bring in all these different allegations, I'm like, wow, this shit going up 25, 35, 40, 50. So I thought at the end of the day, I would end up doing at least 50 from when they came with all these allegations, but they wasn't able to go through with them. So they end up coming with two 10 flats ran together, and that's what I ended up taking for manslaughter and for attempt murder. And then they gave me additional time that they ran with it, which was for violence in prison. You know, they gave me a jail case too.
yeah, gotcha. I'm not gonna lie, for all of that, 10 years is like when I like you said, I would have thought you would have got more, but 10 years I would have probably been like, whew,
I
thank
did
God.
say, "Woo, shit." My grandmother, because I wasn't gonna take it. I was gonna fight it. And my grandmother said, "Man, you better take that time." You know, that was like my mother. That's who raised me after I left my mother. I've been with my grandmother from '88, and
Yeah,
you know, I always had a room with her. She always gave me refuge. So she was like, "Take it. I'll do the whole time with you. You don't need no woman. You know, I'm here. You my son." And I was like, "All right," and I just copped out to it. I took it.
gotcha. All right. So now you're in there, you're doing your time. You know, you are blood. Uh, the prisons in the East Coast is kind of ran by blood. So I've heard. You know, um, what
Correct.
yeah, what is that like now? What is that experience like? Because you know, from what we hear, this is you are the alleged you are the leader of 5'9" Brims. Like what is that
No, I'm
like?
not the leader of 5'9" Brims. That's a
Oh,
mistake.
okay.
I don't deny who I am. You know, I'm the founder of Bloodhound Brim. You know what I
Bloodhound
mean?
Brims, yes.
I was 5'9" Brim first. That's how we got put on. But
Okay,
you know, that's a San Diego set from Cali, and we ended up repping the turf that we never been on. So you know, we end up putting on for our own turf. So you know, I'm from Bloodhound Brim 220. You know what I mean?
gotcha.
That's me right there. You know. So
Okay,
I end up putting on for that. After the years, I made my bones, and I got blessed to put on and have my own situation to try to do it better and give people something more positive, be a more positive person, because I seen all the negativity, and as I became educated, I said, this got to stop. This not what we supposed to be doing.
gotcha. You know, it's crazy that you mentioned Cali because this is a question I always have for certain people who are in gangs or whatever the case may be.
All
Being
right, well, hold it. This one about to hang up, so
I,
I'm going to
we
get
gonna,
back on the line. It's piling up, but like I said, I'm going to keep calling, so be on point.
I'm
I'll get
gotcha.
back on the line. I'll be with you, and we get right back to that question.
Absolutely, I'm here. I'm here. I often see this back and forth between whenever I see like certain people from Cali speak about gangs or whatever, and they speak about New York, they talk about like Cali being the motherland or whatever the case may be, and how other states are copying what they're doing or whatever the case may be. It almost feels like although they put on a I don't know I don't want to say this in a disrespectful way, but it seems this way. Like although they act as if like they're cool with it, sometimes you'll hear when they're mad at somebody from another state, their first go to response of like verbal disrespect is like, yo, y'all copying or whatever what we got going on. When what do you think about that, and do you ever see that as well?
All right, well, you know, let me shout out to Cali, to all the Damos in Cali. Peace, blood. I mean, and let's just be real. The truth of the matter is, this is the motherland. Cali's the motherland, so you gotta pay tribute to that. They got a right to feel that way. In a sense, they don't have a right for the disrespect because this shit is global now, and it took other states to actually, you know, bring more light to it and to spread it more. So I mean, I could see where they could feel a way of it being copied because it is. It was taken from here, but what they got to understand is it's they homies that came from over here to other states for whatever reason that put people on in these states for it to carry on. So that's just like in a way a little form of ignorance as well too, because like see me, I've been confronted with it one time during my travels and shit. And I don't know disrespect shit, but just a person like, yo, how y'all repping a turf that you never been to? That's why I no longer rep 5'9" Brim. 5'9" Brim is in San Diego. I never been to San Diego, but you best believe I've been on 220 Bloodhound. Know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why I rep that. But how I told him is like this. I said, yo, so you African American? He said, yeah, for sure. I said, you ever been to Africa? He stopped right there and smiled. I said, all right, then you get my point. You claiming that you African American, but you've never been to Africa. It's the same thing. You know
Gotcha.
what I mean?
Yeah. Gotcha. I think that's a good way to put it.
Right. You know what I mean? So that's how I just shine light on it and say, yo, bro, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And, you know, we put on for this shit the same way. I can't talk for the ones that didn't, but for us that do, we put on for it the same way and dedicate our life. And now me particularly, I'm trying to shine a whole different light on it in a whole different magnitude. You know me, I don't gang bang no more. I'm not a gang banger.
Yeah.
That's ignorant. So I don't gang bang. Let me just put that out there. I don't gang bang no more. But
Yeah.
I am still blood, and I'm trying to represent it in a positive, legal way to bring it to somewhere that many have never seen.
Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, it's crazy because I guess you kind of answered my next question. It was gonna be like going all the way to Cali now. It's like they have different politics for somebody
Damn
who,
sure do. Cali
yeah,
politics is different from East Coast politics, and I'm over here.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But I'm embraced. You know what I mean? The Cali
okay,
homies, they respect me, they embrace me, and they growing to love me. They seeing my style, my bop, and they jack me. They like, you a down ass blood, and you know I show them the same respect and honor, and I'm trying to bridge that gap. I'm going to be a source of bridging that gap, like a few others that came from the East Coast have done. It's some of us that we just blessed with that ability to bridge that gap and show them, hey, we real from our side too. You know what I mean?